My mom didn't save any dessert for my son at Thanksgiving. She said he didn't deserve it after the way he behaved. Meanwhile, my sister's kids got seconds. I helped my son put on his coat, and we left. At 10:13 p.m., my dad texted, "Transfer the mortgage tomorrow." I didn't reply. I don't know what's lower than humiliating your own grandchild to make a point, but whatever it is, my parents might already be there. It's one thing to play favorites. I've gotten used to that over the years. Watching my mom light up when my sister walks in, or hearing my dad call my brother's kids his real legacy. I've tolerated the subtle digs, the eye rolls when I mention anything Ethan does well. The way they brush past us in the hallway like we're visitors in their museum of golden grandchildren. But this was deliberate. They've always treated me like a failed experiment. I was the firstborn, the quiet kid who turned out to be inconvenient. I wasn't rebellious. I just started saying no. I stopped asking them to care about things they didn't. They wanted control. I gave them distance, and they never forgave me for it. It got worse after my divorce. I didn't cry on their couch or beg for help. I moved out, found a job that paid enough, and bought my own house. They hated that part. Hated that they couldn't dangle money over my head. My dad offered to wrap my mortgage into the family trust. Said it would streamline things, but I knew what that meant. He wanted his name on the deed. He wanted control. I politely declined. Ever since then, he's treated my financial independence like an insult. My brother Ryan sees it. He even said once, "You know, you're the only one they can't manipulate. That's why they act like you're invisible." And he's right. He's not part of the problem, but he doesn't always step in either. Thanksgiving was the final push. We got there early, me and Ethan, because Ethan had helped make cranberry sauce and wanted to show my mom. She smiled politely, barely looked at it, and placed it behind her store-bought dish on the counter. I didn't say anything. I never do. Dinner was the usual chaos. My sister's kids got first pick of everything. My dad opened wine he said was only for grown-ups who know how to appreciate it, but then poured a glass for my sister's 12-year-old because she's mature for her age. Ethan asked why there weren't mashed potatoes this year. He wasn't rude about it, just curious, and my mom laughed and said, "Because some people don't need any more starch." It was directed at him. I felt it. So, we made it through dinner. Ethan was excited for dessert. He loves my mom's pumpkin cheesecake. He even helped set the dessert plates. My sister's kids got their slices first, of course. Big ones. They were already halfway through when the tray came back to my mom. Ethan stood there waiting, smiling. She didn't even glance at him. Just said without blinking, he didn't earn dessert after the way he acted. The room went quiet for a second. One of my sister's twins asked for seconds. He got them. Ethan turned to me and whispered, "It's okay." That was the part that got me. I grabbed his coat, helped him into it in silence, and walked out. Didn't say goodbye. Didn't look back. Got home, made him a mug of hot cocoa, and let him eat the backup cookies we'd made the night before. At 10:13 p.m., my phone lit up. A text from my dad. "Transfer the mortgage tomorrow. Don't be late." No question, no explanation, like the night hadn't happened. I didn't respond, just stared at the screen until it dimmed again. And I sat there thinking about how many times I'd excused this kind of behavior, how many holidays I'd let slide because that's just how they are. But watching my son be dismissed like that on purpose for no reason, I felt something inside me finally go still. I transferred the mortgage the next morning, but not the way he expected and definitely not for his benefit, because if they wanted to cut me out, they were about to find out what that really looked like. I didn't hear from them the next day. Not a text, not a call to ask if Ethan was okay. It was like nothing had happened. My dad got his precious mortgage transfer, and in his mind that meant everything was settled. My mom posted photos of the dinner table online with captions about family, gratitude, and love. Love. The word almost made me laugh. That night, I kept replaying the look on Ethan's face when she told him he hadn't earned dessert. The way he accepted it, quiet and polite, like he already knew arguing wouldn't change anything. I think that was the moment I stopped making excuses for them. 2 days later, Ethan had a soccer game. Ryan showed up, same as always, with his youngest in tow. He's the only one in my family who consistently shows up for us, even when he doesn't have to. After the game, when the kids ran off to chase each other, he finally asked what happened at Thanksgiving. He said Mom had told everyone that Ethan had acted out and that she was teaching him respect. I asked if he believed that. He just shook his head. He said he'd seen the way she talked to Ethan before and that he didn't buy her version for a second. Then he said something that caught me off guard. Tell me what you want me to do. Not what happened, not how can I help, but what do you want me to do? It sounded like he'd already decided to take my side. He was just waiting for direction. I told him the truth. I was done. Done with the guilt trips, the financial strings, the pretending. I told Ryan I wanted to cut ties completely, even if it meant walking away from the family trust. He didn't flinch. He said he understood, that he and his wife had seen how mom and dad treated me and Ethan for years, but didn't want to meddle. I told him they didn't need to meddle, just stop shielding our parents from consequences. That night, as I tucked Ethan into bed, my phone buzzed. A text from mom. A photo of my sister's kids, grinning, holding up cheesecake scraps like trophies. Her caption, maybe next time Ethan will earn a slice. I stared at it, debating if she meant to be cruel or thought it was a joke. Either way, it didn't matter. I didn't show Ethan. I deleted it and blocked her number for the night. The next morning, I called Ryan. I wanted out, trust account, family investments, mortgage link, everything tied to them. If they wanted to act like I wasn't family, I'd make it real. Ryan agreed, no hesitation. He'd spoken to the family attorney to make it official. His voice carried weight, not pity, but finality. Midweek, Dad called twice. I didn't pick up. His voicemail sounded scripted, a mix of disappointment and control. He'd noticed movement in the accounts and wanted to clear up misunderstandings. There were none. For the first time, I was crystal clear. That night, I started writing it all down. Every belittling comment, every backhanded advice, every time I was called too sensitive, too cold, too ungrateful. Not for them, but so I'd never forget why I was done. Thanksgiving wasn't just the last straw. It was proof. They thought I'd swallow it, show up at Christmas smiling like always. Not this time. I wasn't playing nice anymore. A week after Thanksgiving, Mom sent her classic group email, subject, Christmas plans. It was all fake cheer. Who's bringing what? Dinner times, matching sweaters for family unity. No mention of Ethan or what she said to him. No acknowledgement we'd left early. She ended with some nonsense about letting go of past tension for the grandkids. Her version of an apology, painting herself as the peacemaker while burying her cruelty. I didn't reply. I didn't need to. 2 days later, Ryan called. He'd met the attorney. The trust could be split, tricky but doable. We'd each control our portions, and once mine was out, Mom and Dad would lose any say. I said yes instantly. Ryan paused, then said Dad already knew. He'd gotten wind of it through the firm and called the attorney to delay things, saying I was emotional, and this would blow over. Emotional. Like 30 years of being treated like a second-class daughter was just hormones. Ryan sent me Dad's email, CC'd to him, but not me. It read, Laura's unstable right now. Please don't take irreversible actions based on a temporary outburst. I read unstable 3 times. Not hurt. Not justified. Unstable. I sat with that. That night, Ryan texted, You sure? I replied, Absolutely. And do it so your kids don't grow up thinking this is normal. He went quiet, then texted, We're skipping Christmas too. That's when it shifted. I wasn't just the difficult daughter anymore. I'd broken the spell. But Mom and Dad didn't let go. Mom called 3 times in one day. I ignored her. She texted, I don't know what lies Ryan's feeding you, but you're letting him destroy this family. Lies. Destroy. Classic deflection. I forwarded it to Ryan. He replied, She's scared. She should be. My sister messaged next, saying Mom was crying in the kitchen and Dad was pacing like he was gearing up for war. She asked what was going on, hoping we weren't overreacting about the dessert thing. I asked, Did you see what Mom did to Ethan? Did you see his face? Did you even ask why we left? Silence. She hasn't texted since. A few nights later, someone knocked after dinner. It was dark. Ethan was at the table, finishing homework. I checked the peephole, Dad. I didn't open the door. He knocked harder, shifting impatiently, not used to being ignored. Ethan asked who it was. Nobody important, I said, and I meant it. For the first time, it wasn't anger talking. I didn't need them anymore. That scared them more than anything. By Christmas week, I thought they'd give up. Guilt, control, silence, shaming, none of it worked. But they didn't stop. On December 21st, certified mail arrived. A thick envelope with Dad's name, printed, not handwritten. Inside, a letter from their accountant about the trust split and serious tax complications From emotionally motivated decisions, bolded. A typed note from Dad was stapled to it. I read it in the kitchen while Ethan glued felt for a school project. I didn't say a word, just folded it, tossed it in the trash. They thought I'd cave under financial pressure. They were wrong. I sent Ryan a photo of the letter. 5 minutes later, he called. "You need to see this." He emailed a scan of an old lake house agreement amendment. 10 years ago, I'd helped with the down payment, and they'd added me as a partial co-signer. Temporarily, they said. But my name was still on the deed. Ryan found it while reviewing his refinancing. And then he dropped it. They were trying to lease the lake house to a company for big money, 5 figures a month. No heads up, no mention, no fake offer to include me. He asked, "Want to block it?" I said, "Absolutely." I emailed the property management company, attaching proof of partial ownership and stating I wouldn't authorize commercial use. 2 days later, Mom called 6 times. I didn't answer. Her voicemail started calm, then unraveled. She said I was sabotaging the family's financial goals, that Ethan needed to learn his place, that I'd regret this. Then the kicker. "You're lucky we didn't say worse." He was out of line. "You both need humility." She admitted it. No apology, just justification. I forwarded the voicemail to Ryan. He texted, "We're done." Officially. The next evening, Ryan and his wife showed up with all the Christmas gifts our parents had sent for their kids, still wrapped, piled on my living room floor. Ryan said, "If they treat your kid like a stranger, they don't get to spoil mine." We opened them together. My niece, nephew, and Ethan played, laughed, shared. No tension, no explanations. Ethan opened a box labeled "To our perfect grandson" and found a top-of-the-line drone. He looked at Ryan, shocked. Ryan grinned. Guess it found the right kid. Later, Ryan told me Dad had called him, angry and paranoid, asking if I was mentally stable or needed an intervention. Ryan shut him down. "She's the most stable one here. Don't call again." I stood in my kitchen, watching snow fall, feeling calm for the first time in years. But I knew it wouldn't last. They weren't used to losing. Something bigger was coming. I just didn't expect it to hit on Ryan's birthday. January 7th was always different. Ryan's birthday felt real. No games, no pretense, just pizza, cake, and sweatpants. This year, he wanted it quiet, no gathering. I told him we'd drop by with cupcakes, nothing big. Ryan was furious when he saw Mom's Facebook post about a surprise party at the lake house for his birthday, complete with lights, a banner, and food. She tagged him, his wife, and kids, but not me. No one had told Ryan or his family. They just announced it online, assuming they could force us together. When Ethan and I arrived at Ryan's with cupcakes, his phone was flooded with RSVPs from family friends. His wife was holding it together for the kids, who were hurt they weren't invited by their grandparents. Ryan decided we'd go to the lake house, not to crash, but to reclaim it. Ethan stayed in the car with his cousins. The place was packed, relatives, neighbors, Mom's wine club friend. Mom's face flickered with shock, then fake joy when she saw us. Ryan called out her staged family event, saying she couldn't use him for a photo op to fix past mistakes with me and Ethan. Dad just stared. Ryan told the crowd this wasn't his idea and warned Mom and Dad they'd end up alone if they kept pretending. We left. That night, Mom texted me, blaming me for turning Ryan against them. Ryan saw it in the group thread and warned her she'd be cut off from us, the kids, and the trust if she spoke to me like that again. 3 days later, an email from the trust administrator confirmed Ryan had split the trust. I controlled my portion, and Mom and Dad were cut off entirely. At 4:17 p.m., they showed up at my door, standing like strangers. Mom offered a fake apology, but I told them they were a lesson, not a legacy, and closed the door. That night, Mom sent a melodramatic email, claiming we were stealing their future. Ryan cut their access to the contingency fund, finalizing their removal from the trust. Weeks later, Ryan invited us over. Just us, his family, and peace. The kids made a blanket table, laughing and leaving crumbs. Ryan toasted to choosing peace, even at a cost. Later, under string lights, we watched the kids catch fireflies. Mom called twice, but left no voicemail. I didn't call back. The silence was freedom. Ethan moved on, unbothered, painting with me and talking about soccer. The quiet wasn't heavy anymore, it was ours.